I'm standing in my kitchen. The DNA results are open on the counter next to my coffee. My husband is humming 10 feet away, pouring orange juice. And the biological match for my 16-year-old daughter, the girl who did this test as a surprise, a gift, something sweet, is my husband's brother. I can hear her on the stairs. I fold the paper, not gently, fast, like I'm trying to stop a wound from bleeding. I press it flat and I slide it under my phone, and I put my hand on top of my phone, and I just breathe. She comes around the corner, backpack on one shoulder, hair half done, one earbud in. 16 years old, and she looks so much like me that people stop us in grocery stores. But now, standing there in our kitchen, with the morning light catching her face, I am cataloging things I never cataloged before. The line of her jaw, the way she holds her shoulders. I've spent 16 years looking at her face and thinking I understood it. Mom, she stares at me. You look terrible. Are you okay? My husband turns around. They are both looking at me now. I tell them I didn't sleep well. I say I've had a headache since 3 a.m. I smile the way you smile when you're holding something underneath it. Wide enough to be convincing, not wide enough to be real. My husband makes a sympathetic sound. My daughter rolls her eyes in that affectionate teenage way, grabs a banana, kisses my cheek, and she is out the door. The school bus hisses at the end of the street, and then it is just me and him. His name is David. We've been married for 19 years. I want to say he is a good man, because he is. But right now, good feels like the least useful word in the English language. He is rinsing his glass at the sink, and I am watching the back of his neck, and I am thinking about his brother. His brother, Marcus. Marcus, who came to our wedding. Marcus, who held my daughter at the hospital when she was 4 hours old. Marcus, who moved to Phoenix 6 years ago and calls on Christmas and birthdays, and has never, not once, behaved like anything other than a loving uncle. But there was one year, 17 years ago, when David and I separated for 7 months. I don't talk about that period. We don't talk about it. We found our way back and we closed the door on it. And we built everything you see in this house on top of that closed door. I always knew there was a possibility. I knew it the way you know a thing you are not ready to look at. You put it in a room inside yourself, and you board up the windows, and you just keep living. My daughter bought a DNA kit. She wanted to give us a gift. And she blew the walls off that room. David leaves for work 40 minutes after she does. I sit at the kitchen table for 2 hours. I don't drink the coffee. I just sit with the paper unfolded in front of me, and I think about every version of what comes next. I think about telling him immediately, the way that conversation shatters, the way you can't unshatter it. I think about never telling anyone, taking this paper and burning it, telling my daughter the kit must have been contaminated. They do that sometimes. She'd believe me. I think about Marcus in Phoenix. And then I think about my daughter. My daughter, who is going to sit down one afternoon very soon, log into that Ancestry website with her school laptop and start clicking through matches, who is going to see a name, who is going to start asking questions that I have no way to intercept. She is going to find out. The only question I actually get to answer is whether she finds out alone, staring at a screen, or whether someone who loves her is there when she does. That is the only choice I actually have. I call a therapist. Not mine, a family therapist I find in an hour of frantic searching. I leave a message that I know sounds unhinged. Something about a crisis and DNA, and I need an emergency session. She calls me back in 40 minutes. We talk for 20 minutes on the phone, and she says she can see me Thursday. That is 4 days away. 4 days of holding this. I call Marcus on a Tuesday morning. He picks up on the second ring. I don't ease into it. I say his name, and I say, I need to know the truth right now, and I need you to not insult me by lying. And I tell him what the paper says. There is a silence on the line that is so long, I check to see if the call dropped. And then he says yes. He says yes, and then he says he is sorry. Sorry in that fractured, collapsing way that means he has been carrying it too. He didn't know for certain. He He told himself he didn't know. He says he should have. I stop him. I cannot sit there on my kitchen floor and listen to his guilt. I have my own inventory to take. I ask him one question before I hang up. I ask him if he ever looked at her, at my daughter, and knew. He says he tried not to. I sit with that for a long time. David finds out on a Thursday evening in the therapist's office. I asked her if we could use that first session to tell him together, somewhere contained, somewhere with a professional in the room. She said yes. I have never been more grateful for anything in my life. He does not yell. David is not a man who yells. He goes very still, the way a house goes still before a storm. And he asks me to repeat what I just said. And I do. And he looks at the paper. And he is quiet for a very long time. He cries on the way home. I have seen my husband cry 4 times in 19 years. He pulls the car over and he puts his head on the steering wheel, and he cries in a way that sounds like something structural giving way. I put my hand on his back. I don't know if I have the right to do that. I do it anyway. We tell our daughter together 3 weeks later. The therapist helped us prepare. We had practiced the words until they didn't feel like detonators anymore. Just words. True ones. She is very quiet. She asks us to say it again. She asks if David is still her dad. He tells her, and his voice only breaks once, that there is not a single atom in him that is anything other than her father. She cries, he cries, I cry. She doesn't speak to me for 11 days. I understand. I sit with that the way you sit with something that is yours to carry. On the 12th day, she comes downstairs in her pajamas and sits next to me on the couch and puts her head on my shoulder and says, I'm still mad. And I tell her she is allowed to be mad forever if she needs to. She's asleep in 10 minutes. That was 7 months ago. Marcus and David have not spoken. I don't know if they will. Some bridges, when they come down all the way. My daughter asked me once, recently, why I didn't just delete the results and pretend. And I told her the truth. I told her that she did something brave and open-hearted when she bought that kit. She wanted to know where she came from. She deserved to actually know. She thought about that for a while. Then she said, I still come from you and Dad. The rest is just biology. I think about those words more than I think about anything else. I think she's going to be okay. I think we all might be.